Hello and welcome. I'm so grateful to be here with Marilyn. It's so beautiful to see you. I love you so much.
I love you, and it's great to see you always.
Oh, Marilyn is outside of Austin, Texas, and I'm just reflecting on the last time I saw you in person. I was in Austin in beginning of January 2024. You came out for this conference, and it was just such a gift to have you in the space just because of all we've shared and who you are and just the joy and the presence that you bring. It was so healing just to have you in this kind of like not super chaotic, but busy conference space with more of like kind of business people. And that was so much fun.
Yeah, it was really a blessing for me too to be invited to that conference through you because it served me in so many ways. I work for a nonprofit called Play for Peace, and it helped me in that arena, but it also helped me personally to see like this generation's motivation and this generation's brilliance. The young people are, 20, 30, doing some of the stuff that I did when I was 30, and just seeing how elevated it is and how much I have hope for the world, seeing, what they're up to do.
Totally. Oh, it's really empowering, inspiring. Yeah. And yeah, I'd love for this session, and welcome to everyone listening with us, in the future now. We are gathering to share celebration and reflection on this wild ride we've taken. And I would love to start at the beginning and kind of weaving into our experience with the soul source, formerly known as Akashic Facilitator training.
Yeah.
Lynn, tell me about what was happening for you, if you can recall, like in your life, when we first connected and what inspired you to reach out. And I think the first point of contact, I think, was to do the training, right? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I was really struggling in a lot of ways.
Mm.
Had, had a really rough breakup with a partner and, knew that I was a very highly intuitive person, but hadn't had really formal training in it yet. So, really, once I heard that it was about understanding and help support the expansion of your intuitive gifts, I was like, that's all I had to read. I
Mm.
was like, I'm in, because I knew that I was ready for that. And I knew that I had that capacity and to be able to do it with you and all your gifts in community of amazing people, it was just like, completely life changing. And, I still talk to some of them, regularly, social media, whatever. So, it just continues to reap joy and rewards.
Aw. That was back in 2020 or when? I'm having a really hard time recalling. I feel like you and I have been through so many different timelines.
I'm not good with years. Yeah, 2020 sounds almost perfect because 2019 is when my marriage split up. So 2020 sounds just about right.
Yeah, and so then if you could recall, what was your experience like in the training? You said you deepened your intuitive gifts, you connected with this community that even years later you're still a part of, which I love. It's one of my
Yeah.
gifts of the work. What else happened for you? What was it like?
It was like, I'm sorry, I'm almost gonna cry. It
Oh.
was like finding the higher me.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a powerful beginning of me accessing my higher essence in a much more deep and broad way. And like now, years later, that's expanded, like it just keeps expanding. And like I just am so clear that what I'm here for is to experience deepening and deepening layers of love. That's it. I'm here to just experience love more, more, and more. And that is just exquisite for a journey, especially in these times where you could be into fear and you could be into all kinds of stuff that makes life hard. And so, yeah, I really see that as such a beginning of my expansion.
Mm. Ah, wow. Yeah, I feel like we were both such different people then. It's hard to even recall. Like it was such a different,
Yeah.
everything was so different. And then we got to spend time together in person in Maui. You came to the Embodied Ascension retreat, which was another wild initiation. And it was so special to get to know you more in person and just see you and be with you in this group field and just Oh my gosh. That was a wild journey
Yeah,
too.
it was just a luscious setting with beautiful people and a just really full agenda where you could just every day, get some of your play needs met, healing needs met, your connection needs met. And yeah, it was just delightful. I mean, I have flashbacks to just the beautiful connections that we made with different individuals. I have flashbacks to witnessing some healing journeys that people were having during deep sessions. I remember our yoga together. I remember going out to play together and swimming together, and it was just powerfully healing and incredibly fun.
Oh, I'm remembering this really specific moment of driving up Haleakala, the volcano, with you and David, my business partner at the time, who also was on the retreat, which was really fascinating dynamic. And just all of it and just your support. And you're such a champion. You're such a cheerleader. And just your presence is so joyful and genuine in this way that you and I want to celebrate, you're like a professional facilitator who has studied for decades this concept of connection and like play, but for leadership development and helping teams become connected and work more effectively together.
Yeah.
Well, you came into like, my intuitive training, you came in with this like, legendary professional experience as a facilitator, right? And so how was our training experience like additive for someone like you? Like, what did it really help you with?
Well, I've been part of the Association for Education. I did some years in outdoor education training. That's a certain modality and that I really value, but it's not necessarily uh, highly spiritual, highly intuitive, galactic. It's, kind of not at that vibration. And so to be able to bring that skill set I already have and be able to infuse it with the stuff that you had to offer was really powerful. And I even use it today at Play for Peace, this nonprofit that I work with. We get paid good money to present experiences to corporate audiences.
Mhm.
And I teach them somatic intuitive things, and about how to thrive in turbulent times, is one example.
Mhm.
You sort of the blend because I really think that without being somatic, intuitive, connected to love, with these kind of things, I don't know how you navigate these times.
Mhm.
I mean, like I witness other people that don't have that access, and it looks really hard. I mean, some of them are my family members and my friends, but because I have this deepening skill set, I talk to intuitive guidance every day for myself and my loved ones. And I do see some clients, one or two a week. And it's just like a miracle to have this skill set for these times.
Mhm. Yeah. So,
Because I see the dysregulation and the like denial at the level of dissociative denial. I see I have a social work degree, so I understand some of the psychology of it. And I see how people struggle. And it's almost like I just want to say, here, take this, take this, it'll help. But not everybody's ready or open. But I think it's great for people that want to receive it.
mhm. Yeah, if you could remember, I'm so happy to hear this, by the way. Congrats on weaving and just integrating, more of your signature styles into
Yeah.
your work with corporations. I love hearing that and supporting clients of your own. Beautiful. And when people are ready, they show up and they love this, and there is a need. But I find that it's we go really deep. We go really deep in this work, right? There's a level of discipline and devotion required because it is about meeting your true self and your essence, as you say, which sometimes is really confronting and scary. I think I've seen it. There's so many people. It's scary to meet yourself and to feel your true power can be terrifying. So while the invitation
Absolutely.
sounds really good, it
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah,
scary.
yeah,
It's kind of intense
yeah.
and scary, and we go very deep. And it's the program, as I guided, as I've been instructed to create it, it's all about really deep intimacy, deep authenticity, really
Right.
feeling for true self. And so, yeah, it's maybe a rare occasion that like somehow these groups have formed to like answer the call, like
Yeah,
courageous.
well, I mean, one of the main reasons I did choose your course because I saw the level of authenticity that met with my dark night of the soul at times, but my joy and my possibility, like it was all there. So I felt like there was a safe container for all of me, because after this divorce, whoo, it's kind of like it helped me bring up all the things I hadn't had the wherewithal to look at. I'm so grateful now because on the other side of it, I just feel like I'm 62, so I feel like I've looked at almost most patterns I wasn't willing to look at and gotten to the other side and have so much self-love and have really given up fear for the most part, and so it's just a powerful way to live. And I think most people, I don't really know people that can get to the other side of all those goodies without looking at those really painful intergenerational wounding and patterns.
Mhm.
And so, I was definitely up for that being a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my kind of party.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah.
Totally. If you can recall, like, what were some of the things from our training, like specific practices or even moments or just parts of the experience that like really worked for you? And also that maybe were like surprising benefits that you didn't even consider being a part of it, that you ended up being like, wow, this is surprised by.
Yeah, well, just the foundations of like the prayer, opening prayer, I still use a version of it. I've
Mm,
memorized a version of it,
mm,
to use opening and closing. And I think, the practice sessions with all the other beautiful people, it was so wonderful to get to receive and give sessions with all these incredibly ordinary, amazing
mm,
people because you would get richness of different kinds with each one, both giving and receiving. And so, and it was powerful. And then I loved the fact that you really brought so many different things together. I mean, I just remember every week you offered more than I could even keep up with, more resources, more gifts, more
mm,
wisdom, and so that was always amazing. And then
mm,
I love too that, you have this depth and, but also this flexibility, this openness, because like it recently, in experimenting with some healing friends, I've done Akashic intuitive body work, like where I listen
oh,
to the parts of the body and read what is coming through. And then I've also done an Akashic intuitive EMDR session with another friend. And that was one of the most powerful sessions I've ever done with her. And I've done a number because it somehow came together to release her from these intergenerational responsibilities she thought she had
mm,
to save her whole lineage.
mhm,
And her just community, her lineage came together and said, no, thank you, my dear. You've done it. You are now to be in joy and celebration and release. And so, it's been fun to not only have the tool, but be given the tool in such a way that I feel really comfortable experiencing with it and playing with it and expanding it.
that is so cool. I love the hearing about connecting with the EMDR and
Yeah.
different sound light therapies. Fantastic. I'm so happy that you're doing that. And just it's all
Yeah.
about play and exploration and
Yeah.
finding your own unique approaches that feel best and
Yeah.
letting yourself evolve. And speaking of which, like, so it's been a few years and you've been in practice and you've been, sharing sessions with other people and what have you noticed in terms of how just energy within, like the planetary energy is available coming through our bodies, maybe the feeling of, tapping in with the field, whether it's like the Akashic field, the quantum field, what have you noticed has changed for you over the last couple of years?
Well, I'm more grounded than I've ever been. I'm more complete. I'm more satisfied. I have much greater access to the fields that I want. I grew up in a family with a lot of fear, and it is so amazing. Like, just things don't bring that out in me much anymore. I wouldn't say never, but like, and there's a lot of potentially fearful things going on, but I just finally got to the point where I was like, nah, I don't want it. And then also to be out here in nature,
Mm,
it like reorganized me, to have both kind of all the learning I did and all the expansion I did to be able to access, intuitive, galactic, whatever you want to call it. I'm really flexible with labels,
Mm,
whatever you want to call it, to be able to be connected to beyond the physical me has just grown. And then to be connected to nature here, the trees and the wind. I'm, talking to them all the time and thanking them all the time. And they just have me. They're holding me. And so, and then, at work, like my boss and I, thank goodness, have been committed to our own transformation and healing and to the transformation and healing of Play for Peace and to the transformation and healing of the nonprofit sector. Because I've been in the nonprofit sector most of my life, and it's got some severe dysfunction. And we saved this organization. The advice we got when I came on from somebody that really should know better was like, quit.
mm,
You can't fix this.
mm.
And through doing our own healing and healing our relationship to people of power in the nonprofit and just moving forward with intuitive guidance, we even got sessions from you. We did. We got sessions from you. Um, that saved the organization, and now it's thriving and has a 20 plus member fundraising committee that's
Oh,
dynamite.
so
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
So like, who knew,
Yeah,
talking to the spirits, in the functional, real world positive impact it can have.
that's it. And
Yep.
leading with play, I love that. Of
Yeah.
course, that's what we need. That is such good medicine. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that that is you're thriving and such a sincere vision, like your vision of play for peace and really helping people connect through play and
Yeah.
through it's very deep. You're doing like kind of mediation, like cross-cultural mediation work and like war zone. Like, do you want to share a little bit about what you do? I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, I'm the development director for and the strategic advisor to the board and the director of an organization that's been around 25 years.
Mhm.
And they are in conflict zones and refugee camps in all over the world. And they have these clubs, and the clubs are all about connection and play and learning about trauma healing. And there's just these profound stories of bridge building, where kids that are coming together, they're supposed to hate each other, and they don't. They play, they have a good time. And they also reach out in the communities just to spread that, possibility of seeing beyond the hate that everybody's been taught. And so it's been a privilege, to work for this organization.
Oh, yeah, just imagining like worldwide, especially in the American political climate. I was just with my grandma all week last week in Connecticut. She's about to turn 90. She's very into Fox News and certain agendas and just really different
Yeah,
contrast from my orientation.
right.
But I'm grateful to see through her eyes and to feel the compassion for like what so many are holding and then I feel this
Yeah,
vision of like, wow, what if like you had described the kids who are supposed to hate each other but they're
yeah,
playing and what if
yeah.
we had like these spaces for the adults to do the same thing? Like how many adults are walking around and they actually just want to play and hang out? They're just waiting for
Totally,
the permission.
totally. Yeah, yeah. Some of the offerings that I've made here at the retreat center have been with adults and somatic and nervous system and play.
Good.
So yeah, I mean, play really just helps with dysregulation,
Yeah.
at its core. And so I think it's a very valuable modality.
No, I love that. Oh, beautiful Marilyn. I'm so happy to hear such great celebrations and I want to ask, maybe rephrasing my last question. I love how you answered it and everything that came through. And as you maybe know, I've been called, I might have shared even when we have worked together over the years that, it's always been this little shoulder tap I've had of, how do we articulate this work that we share? It's so special and the words almost can't contain it accurately, right? And so and then the last year it's been very clear to me to describe the training as the soul source training or just
Mm,
something beyond
mm.
the Akashic records, right? Which I was guided
Yes,
to start with
yes.
my one-on-one sessions, soul sourcing sessions. I think in 2018 or even 2017 I got the download like this isn't just Akashic records, this is all soul
Right,
sourcing.
right.
But then the training, when it started, I teach the Akashic records the way that I learned to honor my lineage and set the foundation and share my experience. But we really only learn the Akashic records in that framework for about 2 weeks. And it's like kind of
Right.
the vehicle for then everyone to launch into their own modality, into their own style, into their own approach, and like taking what you learned and kind of breaking the rules from there and making your own, and then, but there's just something I've been really feeling strongly. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this around the Akashic records, as maybe a lot of us have been taught, or even ways we learned in the past. It's just feeling like more of an outdated or antiquated modality, given the access and the expansiveness that we have
Right.
now, and also like given how much more embodied we can be, and then how much that expands our access to really just our own source. Like I think so much
Right.
of what I've been imparting through what I teach and what the program offers, it's actually to just help people connect to their own soul and their own source, so that from this access point all is possible and you transcend time and you're accessing not only the Akashic field, it's like a piece if you
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
but it's you're
Yeah.
accessing the field of all consciousness, all dimensions, all timelines, all planetary systems, all universes. It's far
Right.
beyond some of the laws and the rules that are in the a practice of Akashic records, which
Right.
entails more rules and different dynamics. So yeah, I'm curious to know your experience, your thoughts on that, anything to add.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. And I really feel like even back then, I got taught that from you. I know, maybe it's just where I was at and how I wanted to look at it, but like
Mm,
I didn't sign up for the Akashic Records. I signed up because I wanted to expand my intuitive gifts. And I really experienced from you even back then that, yeah, like you said, it was just an opening point to all kinds of things. Like light language came on board for me, and you gave that gift, and just like the words you used were really good. And I also just, you're connecting with the oneness of everything. I feel like as I've connected to my soul, that's where it all meets. That's where nature is. That's where animals are. That's where the galactic is. That's where future and past is, and the now, and sort of. And I take a deep breath because it's like getting access to all that is everything, because that will teach you anything you need to know on an ongoing basis. I remember, I think I learned this in your course. One of the questions I ask myself almost every day is, what would be helpful for me to know right now? It's
yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's all perfect. There's no mistakes or regret, but I have a curiosity about, it's funny, like the part of me earlier on when we met, years
Yeah.
ago, different timeline, different beings. And I wonder if launching the training, it felt safe to call it, Akashic something, because that term is more familiar. It's like safer. It's like a framework that people understand more. It's, that, and then it
Yeah.
evolves and it's okay. And so now there's like this stepping out into this unknown of like, well, I think we're gonna play with a new, but I love the flexibility. I love that. Like call it anything you want. I love that.
So it's about both speaking truth and labeling, but it's all about meeting people where they are. So like whether, you're trying to spread, peace, or whether you're trying to raise money, or whether, whatever you're trying to do, communication, we still communicate, in the ways we communicate. We haven't got, telepathy going that much yet, but it's coming as a mainstream yet. And so I feel very comfortable in both speaking for my truth, but also speaking a truth that people can hear and can access. So that's why how you say things, I think, is very important. And that's why I think it's important to have flexibility, because you could meet where my understanding is here and somebody else's language and understanding here. But in order to bridge the gap, if you're the one communicating into somebody's listening, it's important to speak in a way that they can resonate.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good affirmation. Oh, so
Yeah.
Marilyn, what else is happening in your world today? Anything else you want to celebrate? Anything like you're growing, any cool offerings? Anything you feel is really imagining people listening who are considering doing this training, going through this journey? Anything else that would be helpful for them to know? Anything at all?
Yeah, I think the last thing that comes through is that I just got back from a trip to Tennessee.
Oh wow.
Um, I have two moms, and I have a sister and her husband who live in Tennessee. And I was at a peace accord.
Oh,
And it was very challenging, but incredibly rewarding. Of getting to the point of being able to heal some really deep intergenerational wounding
yeah.
and to help the family navigate, the care of my mom's and, the overwhelm of care. Sometimes, it's a lot of dynamics. And so this work not only brings massive gifts to you, but it also ends up trickling out into all your relationships, your friendships, your partnerships, and your intergenerational family stuff that doesn't seem like it could be healed. And I blew my own mind with this last week about what was possible, and the healing that happened in the end. Yeah.
Wow. Really feeling that. Thank you for sharing. Congratulations. And I love that statement. I blew my own mind. I feel you. I don't know if I shared this with you, maybe when we met in Austin. I don't remember exactly, but I get it. I so understand. And it's a long journey, right? It's like years of healing and trauma
Oh,
healing
yeah.
itself with the family. I know you've been on a long journey with that, and so have I. And I similarly, like last Thanksgiving, November, I had a massive, like miraculous healing with my family, and just it's been completely different. I just
Yeah.
relate to them as who they are as people.
Yeah.
There's no, it's totally different. It's so much more
Right.
peaceful. It's really fun. And there's an awareness of, some of the underlying, like the pain, the grief and things. But even being with my grandma last week, it's all, gosh, I just feel like I'm getting a deeper attunement for more empathy, like, wow, where these people came from, how they grew
Yeah.
up, their families were like, and just how you and me and so many we're connected to now, we're changing deep cycles forever, right? Like just repatterning so deeply and just
Yeah.
ending these patterns. And sometimes I think it's the most important thing we could do. Like it's the whole point of life is just, wow, how much more peace can I feel with these people? How much more love can I let in? And like what else really matters?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I got to deciding, like I'm still single, which I know is on purpose, even though like I'd prefer not to be.
Yeah.
Um, but I know spirit has got it handled. Um, and so there's a point a few years ago when I was struggling about like, what am I here for? I mean, I've accomplished a lot and I've, like there's at this point, there's a lot of things like I don't need to accomplish any more of this, but I really fundamentally said, I am here for love.
Mhm.
And that feels so good. And
Mhm.
it's challenging, but it's so cool, and it gives you access to amazing things. And, when I think back to the coursework that I did with you, and, I do believe that's absolutely fundamental to all of this because all of the seeds were there. And this love, this expansion, this capacity, this access to spirit, oneness, and all of it, and the somatic practices and the intuitive practices and the community. I can't think of a better way to like, expand your journey, and expand my journey into now years later, a place that I always really hoped I would get to, but wasn't positive I would get to. And, I just, these days I'm like, I did it. I got there, I still have days where I'm cranky and stuff, but, I'm not, it's not rainbow and kittens every day, but most days it is, so I'm pretty grateful.
Aw, I'm so happy to hear you're supporting others and just offering. Are there any fun offerings you want to make known here in case anyone's curious to learn more?
Yeah, no, I am still, I've been really busy with a lot of things. And so, I am just kind of settling in with just the regular, the sessions, and I design the session custom for each person.
Cool.
And, yeah, because I just don't really have any like group offerings yet. We're kind of waiting on the outcome of this location.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I heard you're rocking it, hosting some retreats and just doing your
yeah,
thing. That'd be so
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I did some about 6 months ago. I did a whole slew of
Mhm.
different things that were cool. Yeah.
Oh, Marilyn, you're such a joy. I'm just loving you even more. And again, like just reflecting on this wild ride we've had over the last couple of years and how many different iterations we've gotten to meet each other in.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad to feel like that's never going to end. Yeah.
never end. I feel like you're my soul tribe, soul family for life, and I have this just deep knowing, like, oh, I wonder where we'll meet next, and
Right,
we're
right.
always there. I'm always here for you forever. Like it's like you can never feel that way about everybody, honestly, that I've gotten to share
Yeah,
these experiences with. It's like we go through such a deep connected
yeah,
initiation that, even if you don't talk for months or whatever
yeah,
happens, we're busy, we're doing our thing, like you can
yeah,
always call and it
yeah,
genuinely
yeah,
is like no time has passed.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I totally feel that.
Mhm.
Totally feel that. Super grateful.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear all of your celebrations and I'm grateful to hear the ways that you're taking care of yourself and yeah, and just serving and playing and thriving. And I can't wait to see what more is to come and ways that we may continue to weave and collaborate together. And I love you. I adore you.
So I'm laughing hard because I thought one of the ways that I help my moms face some hard things is I don't know if you know in the Olympics there was a pole vaulter, and the poor guy cleared the bar, but his junk knocked the bar off. Famous and got lots of offers, so he's fine. But
Wow.
I would tell my moms, when we were facing a hard day, I said, okay, we're just going to clear the bar without our junk hitting the bar.
Oh my God, you send me the video to that. I'm gonna laugh. I missed a lot of this like Olympics pop election. I'm not tapped into a lot of that. Send it over. I love it. Beautiful. Thank you so much for connecting. Thank you for everyone tuning in wherever you are. We'll see you next
Thank you
time.
for asking, and thank you for letting me share. It's a joy.
My pleasure. Aw.